Hey, Mr. Clancy, it's us at Amazon. Do you have any new stories? Okay, a spy, action, espionage. Sounds like it hasn't been done before. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jbuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and of course, ridiculousness. We're jumping over to Amazon Studios a little bit early. Shout out to them for hooking me up with an early screener of this new action Tom Clancy movie starring Michael B. Jordan, Without Remorse. Seeking justice for the murder of his wife, an elite Navy SEAL uncovers a plot that threatens to engulf the US and Russia in an all-out war. So is this new action movie coming out this weekend a must-see on the comfort of your own couch? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you thought of Without Remorse. If you liked it, you hated it, read the book from Tom Clancy, which I'm assuming it's based on a book. It says Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. Let me know in the comments down below. Now, let's get into some of the good. So old Tom Clancy is back at it with another movie. I don't know, I think there was a couple things that stood out. Nothing that was like the shining light, nothing that really was like, holy crap, this is an amazing movie. But I think Michael B. Jordan being the main character here, flowing us through a kind of action set piece to kind of more intimate moments and whatnot, and like a brawl scene in a jail. I thought, you know, there were certain parts that featured him that were definitely like, oh, that is a great part of this movie. That's a shining light. Again, what I said with some of the action of that fight scene in the prison, I think was one of the coolest things of just seeing him kick some ass. Plus, I'm just gonna admit it, the guy is ripped, the guy looks great, he loses his shirt and just kicks some ass. So Michael B. Jordan in this movie essentially makes this movie for myself. He was, again, one of the better parts. I liked the way that he kind of portrayed this character, and again, him going into these action scenes, not only that brawl scene that I mentioned before, but some of the kind of hand-to-hand, some of the shootouts and whatnot. I mean, there was a time or two that it was a little unexpected that someone popped around a corner and the action or the shootout was like, oh man, they tricked me. I thought I knew what was going on in this movie, but they tricked me. So, I mean, some of the action, Michael B. Jordan, some of the unexpectedness, I guess, was what really worked for me in this Without Remorse movie. However, man, Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, this movie was honestly just bland. It didn't feel like it had much of a personality. It was action that is just action. It's characters that are just characters. It's dialogue that's just dialogue. I mean, honestly, this movie isn't going to really be one that is remembered, you know, months down the road, maybe even weeks down the road. I mean, like I said, Michael B. Jordan was probably the best part for myself, but this movie is just very bland from anything and everything that it does. And it's no fault on Tom Clancy or the story, because I feel like, again, his stories, you bring this person in, there's action, there's espionage, there's betrayal, and then a revenge trip for the character. And the thing is, that's what it is. I mean, with Tom Clancy's name on it, it did feel like it was very much a predictable type movie, which I would have been fine with if it was predictable, but they didn't even bring any personality to the characters. It just was like, oh, you're CIA person, you're CIA person too, you're the mole, you're the main person, you're the crew, and you're the bad guy. Like, that's basically it, and then they just filled in that portion of the movie. I mean, the story is, yeah, kind of, you know, espionage, revenge, this, that, but you don't really care about the characters and what they are doing. You're just watching them go on these missions, these kind of hiccups that happen, these shootouts, these action beats, and it's because, again, there's no personality. You're not really linked to these characters. You don't really have any emotional interest or, you know, stake in whether or not these characters are going to make it, aside from Michael B. Jordan. And the weird thing is, the movie was sort of predictable. You know, a Tom Clancy movie, an action movie, you kind of know beat for beat for beat of where this is going to go, who is going to turn up, and what is going to essentially happen by the end of the movie. But that in-between part felt honestly very convoluted to myself, where it's a very simple story, but they kind of explain things in such a weird, complicated manner that you're really like, whoa, wait, why are these people here? what was their motivations, why are our motivations going off of their motivations. It did feel like it had the framework, but it just didn't really flesh it out for myself to entirely make sense, to entirely give these characters, I guess, again, a reason or a motivation to go on their mission, or for these higher up peoples to really be calling the shots for these missions. I guess all around cookie cutter for myself, and the thing is, the script and the dialogue, that was another thing that really kind of hurt from, I guess, this cookie cutter, bland, personality-less movie. Was the dialogue is just kind of there. I mean, it's characters talking back and forth. It's, you know, cover me, bravo, tiger, lily, whatever the hell their code names are. And just one thing that really stood out to me was there's one scene where it's kind of frantic, and Michael B. Jordan's character, no lie, says, I'm going to get the gear. We need to get the gear. Something about the gear, probably 8 times in a 3-minute period. I understand, you're trying to get the gear, but why was the writing, why was that included that much in this story? And that portion right there is just one of the several that stood out to me, where it was just kind of like bland. Again, personality-less of, oh yeah, just kind of say what generic badass military dude would say in this situation, and then we go on from there. So, I mean, just everything really kind of landed much lower than what I was anticipating. Overall, Tom Clancy's Without Remorse is your generic Tom Clancy movie, action movie with Michael B. Jordan. With Michael B. Jordan saving some sequences of this movie for myself with some unexpected action, but with it very much being bland, having no personality, dialogue, script, cookie cutter plot. I gotta say, skip out on Without Remorse. I mean, I was hoping for some badass action. There's a hint of it, but this just falls into your kind of forgettable action movie that comes out in the middle of the year. In closing, I'm going to give Tom Clancy's Without Remorse 2 out of 5 Tom Clancy novels. So what did you all think of Tom Clancy's Without Remorse? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you way higher or way lower than myself? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there, or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the Jbuck Studios channel. More reviews coming this weekend. Obviously, TikTok, I'm doing a bunch of videos over there, so please go give me a follow. And maybe some new things coming to the channel starting March, so stay tuned. Follow all my social media down there, like this video, subscribe to the Jbuck Studios channel, and until next time, we'll see you later.